23 CR 2261 is called. Ricardo Kelly, that is you?
Yes.
Present with Mr. Adams, your attorney and the state's attorney does. The defendant waive a formal reading of this indictment and arraignment. And can we proceed in summary?
Yes.
In summary, this indictment, sir, which was handed up by the grand jury on December 13th, 2023, alleges that on or about August 31st, 2023, in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed a state jail felony of theft of services involving a Mazda automobile under some kind of a rental agreement that because I guess violated some. And you understand what you're charged with here. If convicted, you face confinement in the state jail for any term of not less than 180 days or more than 2 years. Additional, you may be assessed a fine not to exceed $10,000. Do you understand? Agreement's been reached. So you'll be pleading guilty and sentenced to 2 years in the state jail. That would be suspended. You would be placed on 5 years regular probation. There's restitution here in the amount of $24,282.
Yes, Judge.
Where'd the car go? Was it wrecked or something or what?
Well, it hadn't been returned.
Where is it?
He doesn't know where it is.
You don't know where it is? I'm asking you.
As I explained before.
Let's play like I don't have 5,000 cases. Tell me, what did you explain before to me?
I explained that I rented a car for a friend, and the friend didn't do right with the car. Now the car is missing. I don't know where it is. I've been trying to find it. So it's no point of me trying to get him to come to court to try to help me with this. So I'm willing to take my probation and get it out the way.
Judge, this has been reset several times for us to be able to find the car. The car hasn't been found.
What are y'all going to do with the quote friend who's sticking it to him?
I actually went to the police station yesterday to talk to someone. I did talk to a sergeant. He did state that if I was able to come up with the information about the car, he would look the car up just to see if the guy, just to prove that the guy was the last person that had the car, possession of the car. So
As of now, our office doesn't have any additional cases regarding this car.
Are you going to pay back $24,282?
just have to work and do what I have to do. So
Well, how much are you able to pay?
I don't have nothing right now. So
You don't have a dime you can pay him?
No.
Must be nice to be able to not have to pay $24,000 and give a new car back, huh? And then scamper away on probation.
I mean, the point of being on probation is to pay me for get a job.
No, it's not. That's not the point, sir. No. That's one of the factors. Restitution. You don't even have a plan for restitution. You have nothing to give right now. I mean, this happens a lot up here where people come in, get probation, and then scamper away, and they never pay a dime to the people who are lost, and the people who, I guess it's Avis, are out the money, and they never get the money. Right. What do you do for a living?
Right now, I'm a shift leader at a restaurant.
Okay, and is that a salary or do you get an hourly wage? How much do you get an hour?
$11 an hour.
No, well, that's 22,000 over a year. So how much are you going to be able? Have you thought about a payment plan of how you're going to pay this back, like per month, like a loan?
However it's going to go, I just have to go from there. But I don't have a plan until it's orchestrated. So once it's orchestrated, then I go from there. And I just have to work.
Okay. You know, when you made the deal with Avis, they made the deal with you. They didn't give you permission to let that car go to anybody else. You know that, don't you? That's like fraud because you signed a contract saying you were going to take care of it and that it was not going to be re-let to someone else. Well, you violated that contract and then the car is gone.
Why don't you pay the whatever was the rental fee per day? Pay that as restitution. You can't afford that, whatever was the rental fee. That'd be an idea.
All I know is I can just do my best and work. I'm already in a situation behind somebody else. I understand I signed my name, but this was the point of trying to help someone and it messed me up in the end. I'm sitting here admitting that I was wrong for signing my name and letting them use the card.
That's true. But he's got some responsibility too.
He don't want to come in.
That's true. I hope the district attorney's office is looking into that too, because that's kind of, he knows. He's taking something from this man through Avis, and that's kind of like stealing, isn't it?
Yes, Judge, we can follow up on that.
That's that. And there's no reason why that person shouldn't be looked into and him be held accountable as well.
If it was me that did something to the car, I would admit and take it, but I didn't do nothing to it but sign off on it.
No, but you loaned it to someone without the authority to do that. You were giving someone else's property, which you shouldn't have done. That's why you're in a mess. And he's in a mess too, because you were responsible and then he betrayed your trust. By follow this agreement, you have no right of appeal of your case, do you understand?
Yes.
Have you pleaded this guilty or not guilty?
Yes.
Pleading guilty voluntarily because you are guilty. That's a question. Yes or no? Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
I'm guilty for signing.
Yeah, that's yes or no.
It's a yes or no.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, guilty, but it doesn't mean it's either guilty or not guilty. Here, I'm going to show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 1. Did you sign that document, understand it, discuss it with your attorney, or the contents true and correct?
Yes.
State's Exhibit 1 tendered? No, without objection admitted. This states you are mentally competent to enter your guilty plea. It's freely and voluntarily made. You know what you've been charged with? Indictments and read to you. You've read it. You are guilty of the crime charged in any lesser included offenses, and you were doing it your rights to a jury trial and the rights to the appearance, confrontation, cross-examination of witnesses. Totally satisfied with the representation provided by your lawyer. All true, it states. So help you God. State's Exhibit 1 is made a part of the record for all purposes. Pre-sentence report is waived.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to follow this agreement and find you are mentally competent to enter your guilty plea. It is freely and voluntarily made. There is sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of this state jail felony. I'm following this agreement. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the state jail for 2 years. That confinement will be suspended. You were placed on regular probation for 5 years. You must pay restitution to Avis and the complainant in this case in the amount of $24,282. There will be other terms and conditions of probation, which are normal and customary for the circumstances of this case. Also, as a condition of probation, you will fully work with the district attorney's office and law enforcement officials to take all efforts to get that vehicle back. And you will fully cooperate with the authorities in that regard. You understand? I like that guy. Brought to justice and get in here as soon as possible. Everybody with the state if possible, please.
Yes.
See what you can do about that. All right, anything else? That is all. Keep it to the probation officer.
I took something that wasn't mine, and I made somebody else like be in a crisis because of that decision that I made.
Is that all you did, bro?
Nah, I broke laws.
What?
Broke laws too, armed robbery, and
By doing what?
using drugs.
Tell me about the armed robbery. What is it you did in the armed robbery? What was the threat of violence that you used?
To be honest with you, I took a bag that wasn't mine and went and opened the door. I thought, I can't really say what I thought, to be honest. I just knew it wasn't right. My time being incarcerated in the jail, you know.
He pressed the gun.
Okay. Just a bad decision that I did to put a gun up on me and walk with it and take something that wasn't mine from someone. At the end of the day, she didn't deserve what she did, what happened to her. You know, I can say I apologize 1,000 times, say I'm sorry 1,000 times.
That doesn't constitute aggravated robbery.
What did you do with the gun?
I pointed at it and I took a bag and I walked to the corner and the cops put up on me.
Your Honor,
Pointed what at them?
A 9mm.
Your Honor, I would point out, I know that this, again, doesn't negate what he did, but it was noted in the officer's report that there was no gun or no bullet in the chamber and it had not been ready to fire.
My experience has been with victims, after you commit a crime and then you pull out a weapon and point it at them, they think they're about to die. And they live with that the rest of their life. Later on, if people say, well, it wasn't loaded with bullets, it doesn't make a bit of difference. At that point in time, they think that their life is a clock's tick away from death. And they're no longer in control of their life, but a stranger is. And you don't have any right to be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You are not in control of your own life, much less being reckless with other people's. And how do you take back and undo that horror that they live with the rest of their life? You can't.
Okay.
You shouldn't have done it in the first place. But you know phencyclidine is bad, and you're a PCP user. Phencyclidine. Embalming fluid for animals. You really think that's healthy to put embalming fluid used for animals, embalming animals? Everybody knows what PCP does. Makes people jump off in buildings because they think they can fly. But you're ambling about the community. Why? And you're carrying a weapon. Stealing stuff. And here's this other case. Driving down Gulfway Drive at 80 miles an hour. Gulfway Drive. One of the major arteries in Port Arthur. Complete and total irresponsibility here in these two cases. You're just free falling. The rules don't apply to you. And everybody else is at risk. How people didn't get killed at 80 miles an hour down Gulfway Drive is amazing. What else?
Your Honor, I would just add that if Mr. Green is placed on probation, that the court could order a drug patch, the drop program could be initiated, and for those reasons, we would ask that he be placed on deferred probation for both of these cases.
What's they say?
Your Honor, just to reiterate some of the things the court's already mentioned, in the PSI included, which we'd ask to take judicial notice of, it's in the court's record, that he does say taking PCP, voluntary intoxication, never an offense, as the court knows. Also, on top of being gift diagnosed schizophrenic, can react with his medication, and with a person who does have schizophrenia, taking PCP is double that. So we don't know what will happen. Obviously, illicit drug use along with prescribed drug use, especially with the kind of medicine that a person with schizophrenia was prescribed, is a danger. Now, when it comes to the crimes to which this defendant has a history of, armed robbery is exactly the crime in which he was placed on probation in Louisiana and he was unable to complete a probation. He was unsatisfactory discharged. That's exactly the crime in which we have here today. In one of these cases, it's armed robbery. The defendant went through, he pointed a gun at a bus driver, at van driver, excuse me. Probation is out of the question. It doesn't.
It's an ambulance driver.
Yes.
It was an ambulance. Which prevented that method from being in service to help others who would be in need.
Therefore, the state contention is probation. This is not a good candidate for probation. Only TDC time and state arrest.
Anything else you'd like to say, sir?
I ain't nobody perfect, but at the end of the day, you know, I do apologize dearly. No matter what the situation is and what outcome of it, I still apologize. But at the end of the day, you know, I've been in your facility for 15 months with no write-ups and nothing. I abide by all rules and help rehabilitate myself, get my own self-help and everything else. You know, and just on a day-to-day basis. I take it one day at a time, one step at a time. I'm not saying that, what I did was right and that I should be patted on the back for it or anything.
But should you not be punished?
I'm not saying that either, Your Honor.
Okay, you should be. I mean, that's the way the rules of law work. When we commit a crime, we're subject to punishment for good reasons. Because people have been, it's not victimless. People have been, their lives have changed the rest of their life. You point a gun at somebody and threaten them, remember that their whole life. How do you fix that? How do you undo that? You can't. You're not supposed to do it because it's so serious. But then you've got to pay a price. And you're looking here up to life imprisonment. If nothing further, I'm going to find in each of these cases, sir, you, Gregory Troy, help me out here. This is one of these things that was kind of odd because
The name.
Yeah, the name.
Can you explain?
It was Gregory Green at first, and it's still Gregory Green, but when my father got out, he just added the Gray to it. My father's a Gray. I laughing at Gregory Troy Green. My father just added the Gray to it. So it's Gregory Troy Green Gray.
But did he ever adopt you? I mean, were you adopted?
My mom was married to Green. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when my father got out, he put a last name in Gray.
Oh, that was weird.
Yes, Gregory Troy Green. It's Gregory Troy Green. Gray on my ID, my social.
It's
Okay.
really should be gray.
Great, but they never took the green off.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
But your birth certificate shows Gregory Troy Green.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In each of these cases, sir, you have pleaded guilty voluntarily. You are mentally competent to do so. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading guilty. There's sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea from State's Exhibit 1 in each case to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And I now find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in each of these cases. In 22-41054, I am following this agreement of whatever sentence shall not exceed a cap of 10 years in prison. You are hereby sentenced in this case after being found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of the first-degree felony of aggravated robbery. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 10 years. There will be an affirmative finding that a deadly weapon, namely a firearm, was used in the commission of that offense. In 23 CR 577, the third-degree felony of evading arrest or detention, you have been found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in that case. I am following the agreement there. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 10 years in that case. Those sentences shall run concurrently together. You will be given credit for all time you have served in custody in these.
A courtroom dispute takes an unexpected turn when Judge John Stevens questions a defendant about a missing Avis rental car. As the facts unfold, the judge uncovers inconsistencies in the defendant's story, leading to a surprising courtroom moment. The case highlights the importance of honesty, responsibility, and accountability when dealing with rental vehicles and legal proceedings.